Hey guys, it's Camo Krissa, and I got some big news. I had the baby, and she's amazing. And this whole video is gonna be about my birth, I guess, her birth. I guess I'll show you her first. This is little Raven. She's a little chunky monkey. Right now, she just sleeps all day, so she's pretty boring. But she's a cutie. So, I went into labor technically on Monday the 19th. Well, I guess I can't really say that. So, on Monday I was just hanging out at home. Not really doing much. Drank some tea. The red raspberry leaf tea. We went for a walk. Nothing was really happening. We came home. And I was going pee. And I just kept feeling like I emptied my bladder. But I just kept feeling like there was still something in there. So I started pushing really hard, and this is not recommended at all. Please don't try this. I'm a dumbass. I could have really hurt the baby or myself. But I just started pushing really hard, and I felt kind of like a squirt. And I was like, So I did it again, and I felt the squirt again. And I told my sister, and she's like, oh, you're probably just peeing yourself, like you're being dramatic, whatever. Well, I still didn't feel comfortable about it, so I called the doctor's office, and I talked to my midwife, and she was like, well, maybe just come in and we'll test and see if there's any amniotic fluid in your vagina. So I was like, okay, whatever. So I called Gunther at work. He only had about 30 more minutes at work, but he just booked it home. We waited for him to get here. Caitlin, Gunther, and I, and Paxton got in the car and we went to town. I live 20 minutes from town, so, it was just a whatever drive. And we got to the hospital. They admitted me into the, not neonatal, the birth unit, whatever it's called. And they tested it. It came back positive for amniotic fluid, so basically I ruptured my sac by fucking around, which is definitely not good. And they had me get naked, all the whole 9 yards, get on the bed, lay there, bed rest, whatever. And they kept checking my cervix while I wasn't dilating. At this point, I was a 1.5, which is what I've been for 2 weeks. So they had me put a pill in my vagina that was supposed to help naturally soften my cervix and open it up. Well, they did that at 7:30 in the nighttime, and at that point we had already been there for an hour. It didn't really do much, so the doctor came in, a different doctor, not my midwife. The lady she goes to, the doctor she trusts, I guess I should say, because she's a midwife, so she can only prescribe so much or say so much before she has to officially consult a doctor. So this is the doctor she consults with, and the doctor's like, well, let's put a tube in your cervix and blow it up like a balloon, and we'll just let it sit there for a while, and once it falls out, that means you've been dilated to 3. So they stuck it in there, blew it up. It hurt like a bitch, oof. It really wasn't that bad. It just really freaking hurt. And I can feel it in there. I was walking around trying to pee. Well, I went to the bathroom. And it was 20 minutes after they inserted it. I went into the restroom. I was peeing and it fell out and a bunch of blood came out too. It was weird as heck. Well, so they're all happy because that meant I was dilated to 3. So the nurse came in a little bit later and checked me. And I was dilated to about 4. So they didn't think anything was going to happen. They put these couple more pills in me, and then they put me on Pitocin, which is supposed to help you contract and open your cervix. Well, they left me there all night. The Pitocin sucked. It made me have cramps. Contractions, I guess I should say. And the contractions it didn't really hurt. It just made me feel very crampy, and that's why I call them cramps. Because when I had my periods before, I never had a lot of cramps. So then having cramps was a weird feeling for me. But anyway, so I went through that, had the contractions all night. Then about think 3 in the morning, the nurse kept coming in and checking me, and I wasn't dilating because my body couldn't relax. So they suggested I get the spinal whatever. She's over there smiling. And I really didn't want to get any, like, medication or anything like that. The pill they were putting in me was natural, so it was just helping it naturally open up, which I was okay with. The Pitocin, they didn't really give me a choice with. And so when they brought the shot for my back, I still wasn't sure about it, but they talked me into it, and they told me if I did it, it'd help me relax a lot. Well, so they did it. They put a catheter in me, all the whole 9 yards. I don't know, and I could still feel the catheter. It was really heavy, annoying, just really uncomfortable. And I could still move my left leg for the most part, just my right leg, upper part of my right leg couldn't move. So it was really awkward. And about 6:30 in the morning, the nurse came in and checked me. I was still at 4.5. Then I was laying on the bed, and I kind of felt like another pop and a bunch of water. Just like a bunch of water came out. And yeah, they said my sac had officially ruptured or popped a second time. They then checked me. I was at 9. So they went out, came back in, and I was at 10. And they're like, all right, it's time. So technically they said I was in labor from 4 in the morning to, I guess, about 9. So at 9 o'clock the doctor came in. I started pushing, and I had her at 9:37. I only pushed for 37 minutes, and it was the easiest thing I've ever done. It was the best thing I've ever done. She's amazing. So yeah, my next video will be about the first week with my baby. If you have any questions, comments, whatever, do it down below.